time I saw it was amazing to me. It just blew my mind.
I thought, what kind of voodoo stuff is this? He walks into a round pen, and 5 minutes he's got a horse following him around like a dog.
Everything you do with a horse, it's a dance.
You always hear about breaking horses. There's a whole element of abuse, really.
And you don't realize how unjust it is until someone shows you a different path.
In this particular discipline, you have to be a sensitive person.
See there, she's trying to protect herself. There's a change.
That vulnerability is what makes you great. That's why so many of the folks that are really good at this are, sometimes they're tortured souls.
My dad had a violent temper. He was a terrifying person.
There are some pretty brutal scenes of, like, I suppose, early days breaking in of horses and how they did it, which kind of mirrored, I suppose, your upbringing with your own father.
You know, I think even when I was real young, after we'd been put into a foster home, I was smart enough to know at 11 or 12 years old that people sort of expected my brother and me to fail at life. You know, it's sort of conventional wisdom that if you're raised in that sort of environment, that you'll sort of become that over time.
A lot of times, rather than helping people with horse problems, I'm helping horses with people problems.
There's a great line in the film where you refer to your job being not so much about people with horse problems as horses with people problems.
Well, a lot of it is what I mean in terms of horses with people problems is the person's quick to blame the horse when it turns out wrong, and then I have to step up and say, wait a minute, that horse is doing this because of you, and this is what you did to cause him to understand that's what you wanted him to do.
I understand that every life must
This horse tells me quite a bit about you.
As we sit alone, I know someday we must go.
Boy, do you feel like a fool and kind of like a failure, you know?
Oh, it's all right.
Oh, I'm a lucky man to count.
When you've been at screenings and you've been sitting in a darkened room, what are some of the audience reactions that you can feel in the room?
You know what, there was something that I sort of learned from it that I didn't expect, and that is, like, I went to a screening in New York City, which obviously it doesn't probably shock you much to figure I didn't blend in all that good there. And then I realized that it doesn't matter where you live, things that touch the human heart and that affects you in a spiritual way, we're all the same. We're not that different.
The ones I love.
If you got a taste of what I'm talking about,
Stay with me.
It'll make you better in areas that you didn't think related to horses.
Let's just breathe.
God had him in mind when he made a cowboy.